know, like item timing record, then it could just be the same tale as game number 1.
Absolutely. Let's see if the tale is indeed going to be repeated or if we're getting a different story for game number 2. Also, for those of you who don't know, everybody at home, I share a birthday with my sister, so please say happy birthday to my sister. Shout out, Lol, she's the best. Anyway, we're going to have an early fight, it seems. Hey, B-Day times. We almost had a birthday fight here as several heroes found themselves in the same area. 9 heroes all connecting, but they get the quick D-ward on the side of iG.V. And Supernova, they don't really want the smoke either. It's like, It's not like we have, what do we see the other game? Like Boundless Strike after a Hoof Stomp to really set us up.
So, yeah, it was like they kind of just like walked into, or was it like a couple of dual breaths and a few stuns and stuff like that, and it was definitely it. It was a bit rough.
So let's talk about this Earth Spirit hero for a little bit, because this is a hero that we don't get to see all that often. And I don't know if Sheep is a hero specialist on this, but you mentioned already the access to the silences versus the Queen of Pain, gives them some additional magic damage. Is this, if you were playing Earth Spirit, is this the kind of drop that you'd feel comfortable being this hero in?
Yeah, I think it obviously has to be a comfort pick, right? Because they picked it in the first phase. So, you know, he's platinum tier, so that means he's at least got the reps on the hero. So it's about whether or not he can execute on those reps. But I mean, it's one of those games where like you kind of don't really have to worry about much. Like Earth Spirit is one of those really, really tanky supports that like if you're able to play a game like this where you can kind of just get in front of people. Oh, Sheep. No, this is rough.
Oh no, this is rough for Sheep. He might end up getting brought down by SJ and Ukyo. Let's see how good you are on Earth Spirit. I don't think anybody is that good, my friend. First blood, going the way of Ukyo, Shadow Fiend, feeling a lot better than how things went in game number 1. Game is, yeah, that was definitely not supposed to happen, but yet here we are.
Yep. That's what happens sometimes. You just walk up high ground, you're not expecting the post 5 and the position 1 to be standing literally on that stairway. So Sheep goes down, does pop the Fairy Fire, which is kind of annoying for him. But again, just kind of circling back to what I was saying about the game for Earth Spirit. It's a pretty good game for him, right? Like, he can just get an early BKB. Maybe he just gets, like, Bracer or something like that and can work towards the BKB. And as long as he's hitting his, you know, his Rolling Boulder and Geomantic Grip kind of combinations, then, I mean, you're more than happy than what your Earth Spirit's provided you.
I went to check quickly, and it turns out this will be his 18th game on the Earth Spirit. He has 17 career games. Regrettably, only a 35% win rate across all those games. So it's been a bit of a rough affair for him. But he's 1-1 in the last month on the hero. He played it in the qualifiers, so he certainly should know what he's doing. And I imagine he's been spending a lot of time in the lab just practicing this hero. Like you mentioned, he's put in the reps. He's got platinum tier, so he should be aware of how to conduct himself in this particular game.
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling a whole lot more confident rolling into a pub game when I see an Earth Spirit that's platinum tier than one that's bronze tier. So we'll see if that translates into some dubs or even into some sick plays. But now once again, you can see what happens when you get this early level 2 on these heroes. Okay, Sheep's able to finally get his level 2. So we've seen that a couple of times today. Just a lot of these safe laners and position 5s abusing the first level 2 change and just being able to see if they can get a kill, but some around they weren't able to do it, so we'll have to wait and see. The mid lane is starting to go extremely well here for Totoro, or Ash is really starting to pull ahead up against this Batrider. I have seen a few Batriders in the past really start to dominate Queens of Pain, but as long as you're not using your blink in a bad way, you should be perfectly fine in this lane.
Yep, that's one of those matchups. He's got a magic stick as well, so everything should be coming up Ash in this mid lane. Don't anticipate him falling behind Network or CS at all. And just the side lanes, we still have some degree of aggression going towards a lot of these supports. Everyone just poking and prodding one another. Just trying to see exactly what kind of advantage can be eked out. And Ash should, as he gets levels, level 5 I think it starts to get not just difficult for the Batrider, but you're in kill territory. And you really have to watch yourself. And she's going for the aggressive build, and she's actually going to go back in, going to try and get the kill at level 4. I'm not going to go all in for the Scream of Pain, but this is going to be putting Han in a very awkward position to decide how he approaches the next several waves in the next several seconds.
Yeah, the thing is you can never really, like, hardcore dive the Queen either, especially if she has mana. Oh, Chola.
Oh, no. Gets ran down by DQQ. Might actually die though onto this Tusk, but no, doesn't get the next right click out of Winter. So we'll just opt to give up that chase. Has to come back to protect his courier though. All right, that's a pretty decent kill for them to be able to pick up. They know that this is a stage where he's weak, and more importantly, they know how important it is to get Dolam off to a hot start. They saw what could happen in game number 1 when he got delayed for his ag until like what, 17, 18 minutes, something like that. Was pretty long. So trying to get this up as fast as humanly possible is going to be necessary. And they're just putting as much pressure onto this Ursa as humanly possible. I think they scouted out that there's a bottomless middle. They have an observer ward nearby. So they know that they can play a bit more aggressively for the next several seconds.
Yeah, you can also kind of just glean a bit of the information from the fact that he had a full bottle by the time that he went back towards his tower. So kind of just being able to use the Dota brain there. And our Chola has finally decided to return to his buddies. But this is a much better start here for iG.V. All 3 of their cores leading the CS charts. They got some kills on the board, and we're looking for another one here.
Dolam was falling a little bit low, but Shola does not have access to Curse of Avernus, so not have to worry about any annoying debuffs for Dolam. They might go back into him though. Shola just throws in the Mistcoil, just to bother him a little bit, remind him that he's around. But sadly, because of this presence of this Abaddon, I feel like it's kind of hard for them to approach the lane here. So this is giving a lot of free space over onto Winter to just farm away on this Ursa. Get closer and closer towards having what I imagine will be a Battle Fury with this Ring of Health already brought up.
Yeah, I'd imagine it's going to be just Battle Fury Ursa build, Blink BKB, Bash, all that kind of jazz, and just playing regular same old Ursa. Won't be seeing any Radiant shenanigans this time around, but I'm much more liking this lane than the previous one when DQQ was playing the Disruptor in the previous lane. So him now just having this Tusk just gives him a little bit more of that stayability. He's quite tanky, just be able to stand in the front, trade a few right clicks.
Yeah. Speaking of right clicks, they're being traded down bottom, and it's going to be DQQ in the gang. Able to find Winter. This Observer Ward in middle is doing double duty. Every time Shola shows up here, they start playing aggressively immediately down bottom. It is working out for them. They've gotten now 2 kills that they might not have been able to pick up otherwise. And with Ursa being down for the count, this gives a lot more space towards Dolam to farm up for the Aghanim Scepter.
And I think it might be time for Sheep to make rotation towards bottom, right? Just try and alleviate a bit of pressure on Winter and put a little bit of pressure back on Tax. So, you know, Dolam, he's done a really, really good job at just changing his tact this time around to actually have a lot of emphasis on him farming and winning the lane.
Ooh, they actually might be able to get another kill here. Magic Missile with some tag team damage. They snowball forward. They get past the Aphotic Shield, and they are able to clean up Shola. A lot better game here for iG.Vitality as they manage to get another kill. Closer and closer we go for Dolam to the big island, but Ukyo is in danger in the top side of the map. They actually manages to bring down Sheep, and the dual breath buys him some time away from Shen. So now suddenly it's the Death Prophet that might be in danger here. Nobody else makes the full rotation in. However, the SF gets to stay alive, gets pulled some tangos, very close to picking up a Morbid Mask as well. So he'll have the sustain necessary to withhold his presence in the lane. iG.Vitality, this start from them, Fluke, way better. Mid lane is going quite well. They're getting kills up in the top lane. They're getting kills down bottom. It's all coming up iG.V, and they might actually manage to bring it down Shen as well. Death Prophet. Spirit Siphon for what? Who cares about that spell when you have this amount of damage on Ukyo?
Yeah, this is a much better start here from iG.V, and I think this is what they were expecting from game number 1, right? Like, they were just hoping that they would win these lanes a little bit harder. But now that they've made the transition with the Tusk instead of the Disruptor, it just means they've just got a little bit more body to try and play around with. But now finally Sheep's made his rotation.
Made the rotation. They are down bottom looking for a kill, but there's Sonic Wave counterplay coming in from Ashe enables them to very quickly bring down Heaven. They just got the level 6 on this Vengeful Spirit, so that means that we have the Nether Swap. She brings the Abaddon right in for death, and Shola follows his lane partner into the grave. Successful first rotation, massive Sonic Wave, and everything is really working out for iG.V. We didn't see the rotation happening simultaneously from the Batrider. He's still building into his bots and might try to make a slow move to the top lane, but deciding against it. Dude, they're occupying top 3 positions in the net worth. They're getting the rotations. They stop the rotation that goes bottom with a counter. I'd love to be on iG.V's team at the moment.
Yeah, this is a massive turnaround from game number one, and this is kind of some of the issues that I was seeing in the game number one's draft for Supernova. Is they kind of really don't have good supports to be able to alleviate a bit of this pressure. Like Chola is kind of just going to be a bit of a respawn simulator for a few days if this is how it's going to happen. So we'll have to wait and see how they pull themselves out of the mud here, because they've got a Bat Rider who they need to be making a lot of these rotations, but he's been kind of decimated in the mid lane. He's been out-rotated as well by Ash. And they just kind of need to find some control in one of these three lanes.
Yeah. The lane that they might need some help as well is towards the top side of the map. Sheep was spending some time bottom, hoping to make a jump, but they have a very good ward that prevented this. And now middle, Ash just blinks away. Needs to be careful. There's a lot of damage coming in. Han realizing that he can't necessarily make the kill. The TPs get cancelled that were coming in. But that was actually kind of an awkward lasso. I don't think you get that kill ever. So kind of an intriguing play happening. But I guess he maybe just wanted a wave to himself. So he's like, please leave. Take a lasso.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where like you're playing up against a Queen of Pain, so you need to try and catch her out. So maybe him going at like 2 stacks was not exactly what Ash was expecting, and maybe he was hoping that it was just going to be enough damage for him to kill her, but he just wasn't able to get it done there. So they don't have lasso now. Han still has to sit back and farm. Winter's going to be in the jungle for a long time now, and you can see that from DDQ. He's walking in, really just wants to try and deal with this Ursa, and I think the only way, they have to head towards this top side here for Supernova. They want to try and get this tier 1 tower, so maybe they can force Yukio into the jungle, but I mean, iG.V, they're strong. They've got some TPs at the ready as well, so if this dive does come in, you have to be careful of Tax coming in on the Vengeful Spirit.
Life, death, and taxes. The only thing that are constants in life. And here he comes. Dolan making the movement. Looking for a swap target. He's going to go for the Abaddon first and foremost. They know they can burst them down, and indeed they do. Ghosts have been popped, but only level 1 Exorcism. They're not going to be that scary right now. And there's no reinforcements coming in from the rest of Supernova. So they're going to let this kill happen. Let Ghost be wasted. Successfully manage to defend the top tier 1 is going to be iG.V. So this is a lot of time wasted on the map. On the bright side, though, it does mean that with this Vengeful being top, that is space for Winter to be able to farm down bottom again. So he's not under as much pressure on the Ursa. So we'll probably still get a okay timing on his Battle Fury.
Yep, just gives him a little bit of time. I would have loved to have seen Tax train. Maybe they tried to get the kill onto Chen, but feeling like with the Abaddon around, these Aphotic Shields are going to be too much damage for them to try and get through, especially with the Spirit Siphon. So they get the kill they know they can get, and they take him down fast. And iG.V again just holding on to their towers. Haven't really been able to lose them early on here. And Supernova, they're going to have a big couple of minutes coming up, right? Like once they hit this like boost of travel timing, I would love to see Han try and link up with Sheep as well, who's finally got his level 6, and see if they can get a kill going on.
Well, so far, the only target that might be hit onto is going to be this Ash, Queen of Pain. As she's been silenced up, do they have the follow-up? There's going to be the swap. Sonic Wave will be there. They managed to take out Han instead. Now they jump back in, looking for Sheep. Sheep is gone as well. Shola, hoping to try and close the gap, knows that he's dead. Maybe hoping for a right click or two. We'll find neither. As 3 heroes end up going down. They thought they had the committal onto the Queen of Pain, but the swap in from Dolem, we finally get to see where it can be absolutely useful. Giving the Queen of Pain the space for the Sonic Wave just immediately turns the fight.
Yeah, and once again, this is just an opener that, you know, most teams can only dream of, right? 12-0, 4K ahead at 12 minutes in. You've taken the mid tier 1, you've taken the bot tier 1. There's really nothing on the horizon for Supernova. Yeah, they've got Boots of Travel coming up, but they still need, what, another 1,000-ish gold to be able to, 700 gold to be able to finish out this Battle Fury for the Ursa. You know, you're playing up against an Abaddon, which is a very, very defensive +5. Now Bat's going to try and get through this Ancient stack, but yeah, it's very much behind the 8-ball stuff here for Supernova, and they're going to have a big punish coming in for iG.V when they try and overextend.
Also, I'm pretty sure that this game, we had like the towers go down, mid on Radiant side, top on Dire side, around the same time, like 12 minutes 30. That must be one of the longest. like in terms of how long it took to bring down towers, because every side of the map still had a tower standing for so long this game. Like, I imagine it had to be one of the longest situations we've seen where there was so much parity. But as you said, now because of these last couple of engagements, iG.Vitality certainly ahead in the game. They might be able to force out a fight somewhere because they do have Lasso back online for Han. But it's difficult because Sheep's, yet again, a lot of responsibility on him to try and find the fight with the rolling boulder. Not easy to do in a game like this.
Yeah, especially when he's this far behind as well, 0-3. Like, you really don't want to kind of be like rolling into a Queen of Pain. He's 3-0. He's got the Kaya up now, looking towards Sanj. And once she's got Kaya and Sanj up, it's going to be so hard to deal with. At least you have the mech for Chen, so he's going to be a little shining light for you. Sheep is backing up this rotation. They have found him out on this bit of vision.
Oh, they got him. It was a trap. It was a trap. The swap will still be there to try and buy space and time. They're going to be going right in. There's going to be a huge punch with the Walrus onto Han. Han is falling so low. Han is gone, but he might have given up his life for the cause, as his sacrifice enables them to get 2 kills off the offlaner and support on the side of iG.V. This does cost the expenditure of Exorcism from Chen. Nonetheless, though, they get the bulk of the gold there, and they deny Han an opportunity to find a good rotation. Not Han, Ash, rather. This Queen of Pain really wanted to try and find a big burst there, but walked under a Sentry Ward just at the right moment for them to make the counterplay.
Yeah, having vision in the right place, right time is always big, and now they're able to punish that. As you said, Han going down is a little unfortunate for them. They're going to see if they can make a rotation here onto the Shadow Fiend.
They catch him just as you're trying to go for this Requiem play. He's silenced up right now. He still can't do it, but the magic damage from the Macro Pyre is doing so much work. Ukyo thrown up onto the high ground. Can they catch him? They can. Brought down. The Earth Spirit doesn't even die for this because the Aphotic Shield protects him. Han, though, going to be in much more danger as he gets taken out. Ash making this a 1-1 affair, core for core. But being able to punish Ukyo farming this side of the map. Top lane, though, they might be able to punish Shen as well, who's way too far forward. Here comes back Ash to try and make sure that there is no escape for the Death Prophet. Spirit Siphons or no, gonna be a double kill for Ash, getting core kills on 2 different parts of the map. A much better game for Ash in this particular situation. Much more dynamic on the co-op than he was on the Pangolier.
Yeah, just making it a little bit easier for him to rotate as well, right? Like, he's kind of just rotated in and mopped up a lot of these kills. So I thought they had the lasso in that previous fight, but I was slightly mistaken. They still get the kill there on a Yukio, so that was kind of a positive for them. But losing so many heroes across the map is not what you want here if you're Supernova, because you need to start to stabilize this map with a few more of these pickoffs. They do have a lot of space for Winter, who is starting to catch up in farm, but you're going to need a decent amount of fights going their way in the next couple of minutes for Supernova to feel comfortable again.
They might try to take one right now. They have some degree of vision and awareness that iG.V are playing inside of their jungle. They don't know exactly where, though, so they need to be very circumspect about which movements they make. They might even decide to just jump onto Dolem in this mid lane. They have several heroes nearby. Will they try and make this catch? They have the high ground vision, but they're not going to go for it. Instead, they go onto the high ground. They want the Queen of Pain. She is the priority target. She does manage to blink away before the silencers come in. This Ursa hoping to chase down Tusk. Not going to be able to do so. The Macropire split the fight, but the Exorcism goes doing quite a bit of work. Ursa swap back in. 2 hero ice pot there. There's going to be Dolem putting in the stun. Sonic Wave finishes off the Ursa. The right click damage from the Shadow Fiend comes in to make sure that he gets chased into the grave by the Death Prophet as well. As they bring back both supports, Sheep and Chola die too. And iG.Vitality off the back of some really good saves and the inability of Supernova to bring down Ash, they end up losing 4. And iG.V in a much more dominant position than they were just a few minutes ago.
Yeah, unfortunately for Supernova, you can just see this early on. They just don't have the damage, man. Like they're lacking so much damage outside of Chen, who's doing a lot of work with the Exorcism. But you know, just looking at the fight recap, Ursa did 200 damage, Sheep did 700 damage. You know, Han only did 600 damage. Like, your support Abaddon did more damage, you know, in that fight than both of your cores. So it is getting to a moment in the game where it's hard enough for them to deal with this Queen of Pain, let alone having, you know, Tax with the save, and now Yukio's been able to join the fight with his own BKB, and it could just kind of be a moment where they need to sneak this Roche, and then maybe they can use this as like a farming Aegis for them, but it looks like iG.V are more than privy to this information.
They're aware and they're coming in. They want to try and stop this, but oh, Winter still gets the Aegis. They swap back onto the Sabaton. They will be able to burn the Aegis down in the first life. They have Magnetize though. They're going in for this fight. Magnetize activated, but still they burst down this Earth Spirit. Next to fall will be the Ursa as well. And another big problem they've had to deal with here, Fluke, is their lack of BKBs means that this Jakiro is honestly playing out of his mind. These ice pots preventing them from moving freely within the fight, holding them in position for Ukyo to throw in right-click damage or for Ash to throw in the magical damage. They are just everywhere on the map right now. Supernova doesn't feel like they can take a single fight until they have at least the triple BKBs.
Yeah, and this is exactly the reasoning behind their draft in the previous, right? It's a very similar idea that iG.V ran, but they've just made a few more tweaks to it. They put a lot more emphasis on the lane for Tax. This time around, having the Tusk, when you play these ranged offlaners, I don't want to say it's like, oh, okay, there's a fight.
The quick fight.
Oh, he's
well,
dead.
It's not a fight if you're dead within 3 seconds, you know?
They're looking to fight in the background as well.
I don't know about this one. They're going directly onto the Shadow Fiend. They know he doesn't have an Aegis, so he actually might die here. Spirit Siphon gonna help to bring him low, and the Ursa will help to finish him off. And now let's see how much further they can pursue this fight. The slowdown from the Boulder Smash misses onto the Vengeful Spirit. He will not catch him. Nice swap back onto Shola, but he still has the borrowed time here, so this might end up biting them in the backside. However, they still want to retreat here. They jump in onto Shola with the Ice Path, and Supernova looks like they do not want the smoke. They're content to let the Ghost finish, pick up the Guardian Greaves for this DP. Okay, iG.V do get a quick revenge there, but nonetheless, it is going to be Supernova getting something out of these engagements by making a very solid jump onto the SF.
Yeah, just being able to catch out Yukio in a poor spot. It was a nice rotation from them. Still having control of their T1 tower top meant that they were more than happy to walk through their own triangle there, even though they are pretty far behind. You know, I mean, it is only 6k gold, but they're down by a decent amount of kills right now, and surely got to be waiting on your confidence. They're getting close to their own BKBs for both Han as well as Winter. So maybe these BKBs in these next couple of fights can definitely do it. This is a pretty good Ursa game, to be fair. I will say that. He does have a lot of good matchups this game once he has BKB and has a little bit of extra damage. So I don't think this game is too far out of control for Supernova. But I think the biggest thing for me is they're starting to hit, you know, these scary timings. You almost got the max out Vengeance, or Tax is going to have, you know, his Aether Lens plus his Shard, and he's just going to be a nuisance in these fights, even once the BKBs are down. So iG.V, they want to keep the throttle going. They need to keep this pace up.
Well, they're going to find poor Shola, and we've seen this movie before. Just pops the early borrow time. He knows what's coming, not even going to waste anybody's time. He's like, well, we're done. Just take me. This does give some time for Han to be able to push out this bottom wave, gives time for a retreat to happen from Shen. At the same time, though, Shen has to be careful. He knows that the Nether Swap is online. Ooh, they almost got the vision onto him, but they don't manage to do so at the end. iG.V, even without an Aegis, they feel very, very strong right now. But a BKB is finally complete for the Ursa, so the next engagement could go very well for them. And they're also turning the corner on a BKB for Batrider. It's only really the Death Prophet that's the odd one out here, but soon they'll actually be able to fight confidently.
And once they do come up, as you said, a whole lot of confidence in these next couple of team fights for Supernova. Close on Sheep as well. Chen's a little far away from his, but BKB online for both Han as well as Winter. So maybe this is their go time. Maybe this is their time to get on top of a few of these heroes. There is one up on Ash as well now, so there's gonna be plenty of golden heroes floating around in this next couple of team fights. So I think it's going to be all about this initiation. Can DDQ lock out the Ursa from his teammates and isolate him and blow him up? Or can Supernova get a good catch with Sheep off the back of like a rolling boulder into a magnetize and then a massive geo grip? Like, I think a lot of these next couple of fights are really going to be super important for Supernova to get a good catch, because iG.V have much better repositioning tools than what they do.
One thing that concerns me is that this SF, farmed as he is, and he's obscenely farmed right now, chilling with the butterfly, BKB, D-Lance,
God.
all this good stuff. But if they don't win in the next like 5 minutes, eventually this Ursa gets MKB. And then you feel really, really bad for this itemization. Your own stats are fairly lackluster, less than 2k HP at this stage of the game. So you didn't go for the Skadi, don't have like major stats. We'll come back to the Satanic, so help them out with some health in that regard. But I'm glad that they backed off. You take the tier 3, you're happy with what you've gotten, just leave, wait for the next Roche, and then try to use that to end the game. But Supernova, they want to stop that from happening. They're smoked up right now. They don't have a Blink Dagger just yet from the Batrider, so they probably can't catch the SF. And look at this. Look at DQQ, man. Just face checking to make sure he can break any upcoming smoke so his team can retreat safely.
Yeah, exactly what you want out of your melee support player. And just be able to be a smoke breaker. Han has been found out.
Oh no, they actually roll right past each other. DQQ not gonna find anybody the first time around, but because they've blown up Sheep, he missed his rolling boulder. They can re-engage on the fight. There's gonna be a very big jump in. Ursa though gets hit up with the Walrus Punch. He didn't get off his BKB. He is just dead. Down for the count. Ash is on a godlike streak. They want Shola as well. Borrow time will be popped, so they turn their attention towards Han, and Han gets blinked upon by Ash. Gonna turn into a double kill for this Queen of Pain. Oh no, Fluke, he didn't get off the BKB. Walrus Punch, you were talking about how it can bother him once he has BKB up, but it's even better if it prevents the BKB from emerging in the first place.
Yeah, once again, SJ, a really strong ice path to be able to, once the Walrus Punch comes up, you lay the ice path underneath. As soon as he comes down, no way for him to BKB, and that's a rough time to be initiating as well. Sheep has everything to do, and if his initiations are not correct, then he gets punished. And you can see, as soon as Yukio's the one that's not getting put out of position, and Yukio's not the one that's getting like an Ursa blinked on top of his face, he just stands back and deals so much damage. And iG.V is going to abuse that to the entirety of the game, is Yukio just being this turret for them. And same thing with Ash, right? Like, Ash is going to be A-okay as long as they don't get hit by any of these stray stuns, can pop the BKB. Now going to have the Aghanim Shard as well. So once that just gets clipped into the backliners, then you're really not going to be able to help the Ursa, because the whole point of this support Abaddon is to try and help people with a 40 shield.
Oh, they actually might jump onto this Tusk right now. They managed to bring him down. They're going in. SF has popped BKB. So has Ursa. They still need to be careful here. DP, she's falling very low. She popped the Guardian Greaves. She gets thrown into the air by the Walrus Punch, and she should still end up dying. Magnetize goes down thanks to Sheep. And now this SF, he's finally vulnerable. Can they kill him? Sonic Wave, though, pushes these heroes back as they swap him into the river to try and save his life. They don't manage to do so, but they do manage to take down the Ursa and follow that up with the Batrider kill on Han in the river. So yes, they kill the SF. Mission accomplished, but the rest of these heroes are getting so strong, especially this Ash Queen of Pain, able to clean up the team fight. So that is all 5 dead. All of them have buyback, but at least several of those buybacks should be forced out here if they want to keep this game going.
Yeah, they don't have the Shadow Fiend, so maybe a little slower for them to take these towers. Oh, actually, I guess they've got Vengeful Spirit, so Vengeance Aura is going to do a whole lot for them. So yeah, that fight was okay. They started out, they took down DDQ, and blew him to pieces, and then they went instantly back onto Yukio, and that was a decent fight for them, but you can just see the power behind this Vengeful Spirit and the reason why the iG.V have been playing it quite a lot.
Sheep? Okay. Let's see if this was a setup for something else greater down the line. They still didn't collect the Aegis, so there's an opportunity for them here if they can win the subsequent fight. They haven't managed to get another target. They just want to bring down this Venge Illusion. Nice bouncing magic missiles to cover the retreat for the Jakiro. And, well, what's bothering me as well, Fluke? I just realized something. Every single time a fight has gone decently for Supernova, they've been forced to pop Supernova. Every time. Oh, not Supernova, Exorcism, sorry. So now they don't have it anymore, yet again. So that means that when IG respawn with their Vengeful Spirit and you go into the Roshan Pit, you're no longer afraid of this big spell that that's the only thing that they have to beat you with. This feels problematic if you can't win team fights at this stage of the game without using one of your biggest spells in your lineup.
Yeah, very true. They will have Blink Lasso in about 60 seconds, so maybe that might be some cause of concern for them, but it's kind of exactly as you said, right? Like, Exorcism is such a strong spell that Supernova have been able to abuse it to try and win a few of these fights. But, you know, it is starting to get to the point where Supernova can at least kill the SF, but it's just, this is what happens when you have this dual core, right? Is you get to a point where both of them have had such a good game that, yeah, you're killing the Shadow Fiend, but can you kill anybody else? And it's going to be such a free fight for iG.V. No Exorcism to play around with, no Lasso. Ursa doesn't have BKB.
Speaking of Ursa, he's jumping heads up into Ukyo. Walrus Punch will be there through his BKB to interrupt him. They buy back on the Abaddon. Shola needs to get involved. Han, he's in the midst of the fight as well, trying to run around with this Firefly. Meantime, though, they found Queen of Pain. The swap back will be there to protect her, so she can Sonic Wave the bear. Yells at him in the air, gets an immediate triple kill off the back of this as she took down Chen as well. 3 heroes gone. They bought back on the Abaddon, but now the path to Roshan is completely clear. They thought they could make this interrupt, but Ursa he just can't stand his ground and fight against this Shadow Fiend. As soon as he goes in, he realizes after he pops BKB, but the problem is, after he pops BKB, you still find yourself with this massive amount of physical damage. The presence of the Dark Lord doesn't care about your BKB, and that's it, they call it. They realize how impossible it is to fight here, Fluke. They throw in the towel. GG, well played. iG.Vitality force us to a deciding game number 3.
Yeah, iG.V sending us all the